All right, a couple really good nuggets yesterday from 49ers assistant coaches on some of their players. First from Chris Kacerek on second-year defensive lineman Robert Beal Jr. He was about 245 pounds last year, played a little bit as a rookie, impressed the 49ers with his get-off down the stretch, but he's added about 12 to 15 pounds this offseason. So Robert Beal's going to be above 255, and the 49ers hope that that'll make him more stout against the run. And, you know, it's a sweet spot kind of thing, right? They want to make sure that Robert Beal Jr. is able to maintain his explosiveness coming off the edge. So a little extra weight for Robert Beal Jr. as he bids to make a firm entry into the 49ers rotation. Then there's discussion of the rookie, Malik Mustapha. And Daniel Bullocks is the 49ers DB coach, talking about Mustapha. He's a safety out of Wake Forest, and compared him to Bob Sanders, the former Colts safety, who was just like a ball of muscle, who was strong enough to come down to the linebacker position. So they really believe they have adaptability in Malik Mustapha. Have a listen to Daniel Bullocks about Malik Mustapha and his skill set.
Physical, violent. The thing is, he's very smart. Like, he has a strong work ethic. I definitely can say that. Like, sometimes, like, he beat me to my office, like, already as a rookie. Like, and I'm like, dude, what are you still doing? What are you doing here? And we walking at the same time. So it says a lot about who he is. He's a very smart player. When I look at him, I know he's built. I wish I had a body like he did, you know, especially up top. But when you're looking at him, like, he's a guy that got good feet and good hips. He's a very fluid athlete. You wouldn't think that for a guy that's that stout, you know, 5'9", you know, 208, have fluid hips, but he got fluid hips, he got good feet, very smart, he's versatile, does a lot of things on the back end. When you watch the tape, he can come down in the box, he can bang, he can blitz. He's one of the best tackler guys, best tackling DBs in the draft, which that what we prefer as defense. You want guys that can tackle, because when I tell guys, like, what's your number one stat? Your number one stat is going to be tackles. Like, you're going to be making more tackles than anything else, so you need a guy that can tackle and have the right mindset and the mentality. And on top of that, just his versatility. You know, we need versatile DBs, the guys that can come down on the slot, guys can play deep, can play cover two, can play high, can play in the post, and that's something that he done at Wake Forest, but not a lot of it, but he did put it on tape. So I'm excited about him. He's getting better each and every day, every time he step on the field.
You know, I think the overarching point is that this 49ers defense is so damn adaptable. Mustapha is just one representation of that, but Renardo Green can play inside, potentially outside at the NFL level as well. He's the 49ers second-round pick at cornerback. I asked Brandon Staley about this adaptability because he's been known to really feature it before with players like Jalen Ramsey and Derwin James.
I think one of the things that people talk about when referring to your defenses is the adaptability on the back end. Somebody like Jalen Ramsey in 2020, and then what you did with Derwin James. With this group of DBs, do you see, and the draftees too, somebody like Malik Mustapha, who obviously played a lot of positions in that Panther package in college, do you see that type of adaptability on this roster to be able to implement some of the stuff that you like?
Yeah, I think John and his group, John Kyle, this group have put together a really deep football team, and I think in the secondary, you know, particularly, you know, we've got a lot of guys who can play corner, a lot of guys who can play inside. Our safeties have flexibility, you know, and I think that's what allows you to have flexibility is the personnel that do it. So, and our linebackers can all do different jobs too. And, you know, I think some of the acquisitions that we made on the defensive line, both on the edge and inside, that multiplies your ability to be able to do that. So I think, you know, how that, you know, expresses itself is going to, you know, happen in time, you know, this springtime and during training camp, you know, and ultimately, you know, you're trying to put that best product on the field, you know, game one and then build for a long season. So, but I think we have the pieces to do some nice things.
Is this the deepest and most adaptable set of talent that the 49ers defense has had under Kyle Shanahan? We will find out. We really will. And if it is, then I think that they have the right coaching staff in place, starting with Brandon Staley, who's highlighted that versatility to truly feature it. Remember, this 49ers defense has to get better. They dropped down to number 12 last year from number 1 in 2022, so it's time to reverse that trend. By the way, SFO, this is the airport review series. Why don't we make it the airport review series? You go to Lark Creek Grill, you've got a really, really good breakfast wrap. Remember, we gave LAX a D-. We gave San Diego an F. We'll give SFO a solid A grade, especially since my flight is on time today.